Hello and welcome back to another episode. Now today we're going to be playing one of my favourite games of all time. I've already mentioned my love for this series in a previous video, but Resident Evil 2 is one of those games which I would dive back into the house to try and rescue if the house was on fire. So, no exaggeration, I adore this game. We're going to be playing the GameCube version of it today, but I first played this game on the N64. And let's go with, I suppose, normal, shall we? Now, Leon's story is the story which I first played on the N64, and it really, I suppose, set up so much of the Resident Evil universe for me. The quirkiness of the puzzles, the fact that you have certain rules with regards to zombies in this game. That is to say that if you're a protagonist, if you're the player, you can get bit and heal yourself. But if you're, for example, presumably someone else, like a citizen, it seems you just turn into a zombie. And we're about to see this in this cutscene. It's not the best in terms of graphical quality by today's standards, but at the time it was very, very impressive. Nigh-on cinematic, in fact. And that's actually one of the reasons why eventually Paul Anderson, is it Paul Anderson? Anyway, Mr. Anderson would go on to direct the Resident Evil movie series. It has the cinematic potential, I suppose. And so here we have this sort of confluence of events. This truck driver's been bitten, and he might become a zombie. Who knows? But the whole thing is it's a horror movie. It's a horror movie setup, and it's one of the reasons why I love it. The suspense, the question of what the hell's going on. You know, there's a dead person in the street. There's what the hell was that? You know, it is actually what it's meant to be. It is survival horror. Horror being the operative word. I think later Resident Evil games, in particular Resident Evil 6, really compromise this. They sort of forget this sort of scary, scary sort of suspense-filled version of the reality which they created in particular, for example, Resident Evil, the first one, but also Resident Evil 2. And here we're about to get.
Wait! Don't shoot! Now!
Love it.
We can't stay out here. Head to the police station. It'll be a lot safer.
A lot safer. Okay, off we go. Yeah, it's just so much more pure, I think, in that sense. The experience of this game. It's cheesy as hell. The characters are mega cheesy. Leon at this point is nowhere near as cool as he is in Resident Evil 4, or, for example, in the animated movies like Degeneration and what's the other one? Damnation, I think. But that's one of the reasons why I love it. I loved it at the time, and I still love it today.
Claire Redfield.
Now, Leon, this is Leon's first day on the job. Of course it is. Like a lethal weapon or whatever type trope, you know. So if you're either about to retire or it's your first day on the job in these sort of scenarios. Oh, the truck driver is feeling a bit poorly, I think.
There's a gun inside.
Better take it with you.
Ah! And of course there's a zombie in the back. As in Zombieland, always check the back seat. I've forgotten what number rule it is, but it's an important rule. Oh. Ah! Grim.
You okay?
Still in one piece.
I love that synth noise. It's also a little bit Terminator 2, isn't it? Truck heading towards you. It's magnificent. Magnificent. So our heroes are separated by a fire.
Okay. Head to the station. I'll meet you there.
Okay.
And this is the beginning of the game. They were parted by unescapable destiny. Inescapable, shouldn't that be? Anyway, this is just the beginning of their worst nightmare. Excellent. and off we go. Now the tank controls is something which lots of people complain about in Resident Evil, but actually I think the tank controls work really well because up is always forward. Now people, even when they're criticising the tank controls, they often get this criticism wrong. They say, oh, and suddenly if you're running in the wrong direction when the camera angle changes, if you're pushing up to go forward. But actually no, up, because it's always forward, keeps you going in the right direction. No matter what the camera angle, you're going in the direction that you entered the other angle from, as it were. So I love the tank controls. Up is forward, you sort of turn on the spot, and then you oh.
Freeze! Who are you? Hold your fire! I'm a human!
That's a bit over the top. Hold your fire, I'm a human. Oh.
Sorry about that. I thought you were one of them.
Love it.
What's going on in this town?
Hold on. I don't have a clue. By the time I noticed something was wrong,
This guy's really quite
your
camp,
city was
isn't he?
infested with zombies.
Okay, let's have a look around, shall we? Shall we get some ammo? Yes, handgun bullets. Oh! Now, what you can do, I do believe, is get his shotgun if you're quick enough. Oh, no. Rats. Okay, I'm going to have to stop breathing. Got it. Shotgun, yes. And I'm also going to check behind the counter just here. Get more ammo. Yes. Come on, quick. Nothing useful here. Now you notice I've stopped giving a commentary because it's got a bit tense. Yeah, I'll always remember the first time I went into that shop, the first time I played it. Again, it's these little unexpected moments which are precisely from a horror game. You know, stop right there! You know, someone who's scared out of their wits, who's got a gun, and then you get these sort of angles where you don't know what's around the corner. Once again, up is forward, and see, from one angle to the next, down is back. From one angle to the next, you're going in the direction that you're meant to be going. I really don't understand why people complain about the tank controls. But this multi-angle to it is cinematic, the way that you get these different angles and shots, essentially, like a movie, really sucked me in. And I remember the first time I played this game, I actually thought this was, well, like real life. Now that may sound daft, again, given the quality of graphics today. But the fact that you had all these sort of details, like there you got the AC unit up above Leon, you got the fire escape for a start, the muck on the floor, the essentially high resolution, and it was high resolution for the time, pre-rendered backgrounds, really got me into the atmosphere. And I remember thinking, yeah, this is exactly like playing a horror movie. This is so cool. This is like real life. And I suppose you've just got to accept, if you don't believe me, you've just got to accept that at the time this was very, very impressive graphics, especially on the N64. Die! Especially, crush his head, yes. Especially on the N64. And yeah, the gore is something else as well. The fact that blood is left behind on the floor, the fact that these bodies don't just disappear, that was something else which really drew me into the I suppose the atmosphere, the environment of the game. And this little basketball court is currently occupied, but get off by a zombie. And I love the fact that you're not actually expected to kill them all. For the most part, actually, you're pretty much expected to run around the zombies as you would in real life, in a real zombie apocalypse, as it were, because they are hopefully slower and dumber than you are. It depends on the type of zombie that your particular apocalypse is made up of. Could be those sort of clever running zombies that we've seen in some films. But this stuff here, these details didn't have to be here. You know, they didn't have to have him walking past the advertising and then going down these stairs. It all helps to build up the atmosphere of Raccoon City. Now, I have to say, the first time I got up here, I was wondering, what am I going to do? But there we go. You can. Oh, I forgot about that. They can spit at you. Ugh. There you go. Come on. Now, the shooting is a little bit awkward, but actually it's very similar to Resident Evil 4 in so much as you have to hold a button to aim and then hold another button to shoot. In fact, I think it is actually the same buttons as Resident Evil 4 on the GameCube at least. So you hold the R shoulder button to draw your gun, and then you tap A to shoot. The the thing which I also love about this is the loading screens. The doors are so iconic. I know they're not necessarily required in a modern game, but I'd love to see them, for example, in Resident Evil 7, make a return. Look at that! Isn't that horrible? So that guy, he's probably a zombie. He's been stabbed multiple times in the back. Ugh, grim. Okay, off we go. Oh, grim. Now, obviously, I'm injured, holding my torso, so I don't want to get bitten again. Come on, keep running. This is precisely the reason that I love this game. It is survival horror. It's not a shooting gallery, although there is some ammo. Get some more ammo there. Here and there is some ammo. I didn't even see that coming. How cheap is that? There is some ammo here and there, but for the most part, you are surviving by the skin of your teeth, by a gnat's wing. Now, actually, in here, isn't there I think there should be no sign of life. No sign of life. Isn't there there's something. Hang on. It is worth killing this guy because should be a suitcase or something. Where is it gone? There we go. And they make that noise, they're finally dead. Oh, there's the suitcase. It's been a little while. Come on. Is he? Oh. I seem to remember the suitcase opening up. Isn't that strange? Oh. Anyway. Now, the shuffle from space to space, from one place to another in this game, is the thing that you come to dread and expect the most. And actually, notice how there isn't really music. Yeah, there was music in the cutscene, and there's the occasional sort of ambient noise, but there's not much in the way of a soundtrack to this game. And that's another one of the most powerful things about it. It's another thing actually which, again, more recent Resident Evils have forgotten. So here we have, some tones, but we don't really have a soundtrack. And it really underlines this sense of, crap. Get away from me. This sense of survival horror. Oh, I'm properly limping now. Come on. I'm limping, but I'm grinning from ear to ear. I play it. Okay. Get into the police station. Into one of the most ornate police stations of all time. So here's some music, finally. And this music brings it all home. I remember this. First time I saw this, I was in hog heaven. I was just incredibly happy. Because, again, I'd read so much about the first Resident Evil game. And I'd read about the mansion. And I was a bit concerned that there wouldn't be a mansion in Resident Evil 2. But the police station essentially serves as a mansion. Now, this is one of the most impressive and incredible police stations ever. It's got some remarkable security systems and some elaborate puzzles to solve. And it's kind of weird, but I didn't really think about the logic of it at the time. I have since thought about it, and I think it is quite amusing that you have to get stones and chess pieces and all this kind of thing to get from place to place. Oh.
Man,
Oh, man.
who are you? Oh, you must be the new guy. Leon. Sorry, but it looks
Leon.
like your party has been canceled.
Oh.
What happened? About 2 months ago, there was
Jojo.
this incident involving zombies in a mansion located in the outskirts of the city. Chris
Oh, the dialogue.
and the other STARS members discovered that Umbrella was behind everything. They risked their lives to reveal the truth, but no one believed them. Not long after that, all this started to happen. Hang in there. Don't worry about me. Just rescue the survivors in the other rooms.
Okay.
Here, take this key card. You should be able to unlock the doors in the hall with this. Now go. But just go.
Oh.
Fine.
But I'm
coming back for you. Just hold on.
Oh, I was going to explore the room, rats. And I think once we step out the door, we're going to hear a tragic Hollywood moment. Oh, we haven't. I thought you always heard a gunshot from the guy. I see. Shall I try and get in again? Maybe that's it. God, really am struggling. That's one of the beauties of the game. It's not easy to just win. Let's look from the inside. Okay, off we go. And I think the first time I played it, I was in a very similar situation by this point. I was hobbling, I was barely standing up, and then I come through here. Now, let's see, can I use the key card? Where's the... Use. Oh. Okay, well in that case I probably need to go this way. To be honest, actually, I've actually literally in real life been walking like this recently. I pulled tore a ligament in my ankle, which hasn't been fun. So I feel your pain, Leon. I feel your pain. Now here's another staple of the Resident Evil universe: saving with an ink ribbon on a typewriter. Something again which at the time I thought was a bit odd. I'm not going to save this game, but it's again, especially when you go back and play the first Resident Evil, it just has to be part of it, part of the experience. Yes, use the computer. Door lock service. Whole side doors locked. Doors can be unlocked by a card key. Either use the blue card key. Yes. Excellent. Now, it's this sort of stuff which I want to see more of in the next Resident Evil game. Having to do this, having to trudge around, having to unlock doors, and yeah, okay, this isn't the most compelling, exciting run and gun gameplay if you compare it to, I don't know, Battlefield or even the story-driven campaigns of Call of Duty. But that's the point. I don't want Resident Evil to be like Call of Duty. I want it to be like this, and in particular, like this. So we go through the door. And here we come to, well, not quite, but here we come almost to one of the best moments I've ever experienced in a computer game. Simple as that. But first of all, let's see what this is. Police memorandum. This letter is just to inform everyone about the recent movement of equipment that has happened during the precinct's rearrangement. The safe with 4-digit lock has been moved from the Styles office on the 2nd floor to the Eastern office on the 1st floor. 2236 is the code. Raccoon Police Liaison Department. Okay. I'm glad that you leave that lying around in what seems to be some sort of waiting room. What's that in the middle as well? This is the other thing as well. I love the fact that in these games, because of the fixed camera angles, you often have to have something in the middle of the room to kind of help orientate you. I think is that a post box maybe, or some sort of something to do with admin? Anyway. Oh, did you see that go past the window? Here we go. This is the moment. This is the most genius, beautiful thing about this game, is this use of this voyeuristic camera angle, looking in through the window at you. Suddenly you're like, I'm being watched. Shit, who's watching me? Or is there something outside? What's going on? And here I am struggling along. And actually, I would often role play like this. I mean, this is actually as fast as I can walk if I don't hit the run button. I'd be like, oh, come on, just gotta make it round the corner. And what's round the corner? Oh, there's a guy without a head. His head is missing. It seems to have been twisted off. Love it. Okay. Broken glass. More broken glass. This was it. This was the moment I just shat my pants and loved this game. Oh, can I? I'm not sure I'm gonna. No. No, I was too far gone, and I've died. I paid the price for doing a running gun commentary in Resident Evil 2. And I love the game. I love the fact that it's punished me for that. Well, guys, there you go. Resident Evil 2, and I suppose my love, especially of the opening of this game, and some of the reasons why I adore it. It is all about the atmosphere that it creates, the use of camera angles, the fact that it uses Hollywood slightly cheesy tropes here and there, and the fact that it's not afraid to take its time. It really cranks up the tension. It really introduces you bit by bit to the horror, and before you know it, you're face to face with a licker, and more to the point, completely out of nowhere. There's not much in the way of foreshadowing. There's no look out for the monster. It's a case of oh my god, what the hell's that? And I've got no ammo, and I can barely walk. That is Resident Evil 2, and that's why I love it. Anyway, guys, hopefully this hasn't been too boring a playthrough. I've sort of just been, literally, I haven't played this actually for about a year, which is terrible. I just really wanted just to share my thoughts, especially on that opening sequence, because that's really what sticks in my mind. Is how I experienced those first, I suppose, 10-20 minutes of the game, and that's really what got me hooked. So I'm glad to have shared it with you here today. As ever, until next time, whatever you get up to, do take care. Bye bye.